Thank you.
Maybe. Oh, there we go. We're good.
Awesome sauce. Thank you, Ashley. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Mira Denning. For those of you who weren't on the last one, as Ali was just saying, this is a collaboration of multiple teams. And we are just all fired up by each other, and we want to spread that out. I know my team, we had a really great day today. Lots of good things happened today. And just want to basically take this time, we're now mid-month in August. We're 5 weeks till green carpet, and just what are we going to do to bring the boom the next 2 weeks, and what are you going to do to get ready for the green carpet announcements in 5 weeks? And so we know as leaders, and those of you who are veterans know what is coming as soon as those green carpet announcements are announced. And before that, we all want to get really nice paychecks on September 15th, right? So we got to do the work in August as well. So what we would have tonight is very similar in some ways to what we did last time. We wanted to do a mix of some inspiration and training, and then we are going to have tasks at the end. So please do get your lists for the last section ready. So just a really quick introduction of myself, and then especially since Ashley it's her first time, Ashley, definitely good for you to introduce yourself. I am a presidential diamond. I'm up in the Portland, Maine area. I've been in for 4.5 years. Before it works, I was in healthcare administration and had gone to like all sorts of fancy schools and such, but was secretly drowning in debt, and just 6 figures of debt, a really bad situation for our family. I finally broke down and joined this company, which I'd basically been in denial about for 12 months. And flash forward today, obviously you're earning now 6 figures as a presidential diamond, and you know, all that debt is wiped out, and just really living the dream life. I retired from corporate life at age 41 last year. So that's just a little bit about me. Ashley, why don't you go next and just tell us about you?
Hey guys, so I'm Ashley Ranow. I'm an ambassador, and I have been with the company for 5.5 years. Prior to It Works, I was a night shift labor and delivery nurse working 60 hours a week with a newborn and a 2-year-old. So to say that I didn't have enough time for this business is a complete understatement. But I was one of those people that watched this business for a really long time. And you may have some of those potentials that you're like, oh, I've been talking to them for 3 months. My enroller talked to me for 36 months, you guys, before I said yes. So I got started and went really quick. I went triple diamond in 4 months and got $50,000 in bonuses, and was able to, my first year in the business, walk away from my job as a nurse. And then the following year, my husband walked away from his career with State Farm, and we've been a full-time family ever since. We were in Missouri when I started the business, and we decided last summer on a whim to pack up and move to Florida. So we live at Pensacola Beach now and loving life, but that doesn't, come to say that everything's been like roses and butterflies in 5.5 years. I've definitely had my ups and downs, and it's all about mindset. And so, pouring into yourself so you can pour into other people. So that was one of the biggest reasons I felt called to go to this global leadership summit that we're going to talk to you guys about tonight. But that's essentially who I am.
Love it, love it, love it. And Ali, why don't you just kind of give your story for a minute too, for the people who are new.
Perfect. Yeah. So I am Antonocci. I'm an ambassador. I've been with It Works just over 6 years. And when I started before It Works, I was a nonprofit fundraiser. I had a 2-year-old, and daycare costs as much as our mortgage. We were getting by on the outside. It looked fine. But on the inside, we were really, really struggling. We had a maxed out credit card, and I actually maxed it out to join this business. I followed my enroller for 9 months. I was the radio silence girl who said yes to every party. Sure, I'll be a product tester. Sure, I'll join your team, and then nothing. And then finally one day, one of her posts finally pushed me over the edge, and I said, yeah, I have to do this. I have to make a change. I paid that credit card off in the first 6 months, and I was able to leave my career, which was my dream job, but being home with my daughter more was more important. And then from there, I went ambassador in just under 2 years. Now 6 years in, closing in on, I think, our 2nd million, and we've had 2 more babies in this business. So I have an 8-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2.5-year-old. We had back-to-back babies, and I mean, I have been through it all. I have been through life. I have been through babies. I've been through postpartum depression. I've been through enrollers leaving. I've been through downline leaving. I've been through being at the top, feeling like I'm at the bottom, and I'm still here. So I'm so excited about this because I just have such vision and such clarity for where we are going that I'm super, super excited to pour that energy right into you guys.
Yay. And you know, what's awesome is all three of us, when we started, were working very serious careers, full-time careers with children, and all just pushed through all of that because we had that strong mindset. And just guys, as you hear those three stories, that's kind of transitions really well to the first thing that we want to talk about, which is mindset. And it's just, when you have a no excuse, I got to get this done mindset, that's when magic happens. And part of the ways that I know that has helped me is to go to events, both It Works events and then events like we just went to with the Global Leadership Summit, and obviously to participate in Zooms like this as well, and just get your brain filled up. So we went to this conference that Ashley was mentioning. It's been around forever, decades literally, and it is really focused on leadership training across all sorts of dimensions, business, church leadership, university leadership, and they have like literally some of the best speakers on leadership, and it's truly global. So what's cool about it, and it's different from some other leadership trainings, is they literally have leaders from all over the world. So you really get an amazing cross dimension. And so I know all of us had some awesome takeaways that we wanted to bring back to you, and sort of kind of have our aha moments be some part of our inspiration tonight. So that's kind of the first thing we're going to start with. Ashley, do you want to start on that?
Sure. Okay, guys. So the person, I'm going to type his name. There was a lot of people. I mean, I took so many notes and took away so much from this, but I'm typing, his name's Devon Franklin, and he was the speaker that just literally blew my mind. But that all kind of started after. So it was me, Mira, Allie, Jenny, Thormer, is that how you say it? Thormier. And then Joel Dunn was there, and then Joel Dunn had brought his two cousins with him. And so we all went to dinner after the first night, and his cousins are not part of It Works. And so we sat around this round table eating dinner, and they're not part of It Works. They don't really get what we do, or, I mean, it's kind of funny since Joel and Stephanie are their cousins. But he was like, so he asked me, he's like, he was asking us, so what's your story? And so I started to tell my story, just kind of what I told you guys, that like I was working night shift. I had a newborn. I had a 2-year-old. They were spending more time in daycare than they were in my arms. And I was literally picking up my newborn from daycare. I would sleep during the day, and then I would work all night. And so my husband would drop my kids off at daycare. I would sleep all day, shower to get ready for work 5 out of 7 days a week. And I would drive to daycare, and I would pick her up. I would hold her for just a second while I put her in her pumpkin seat, the original baby car seat. I would carry it on my arm out to my van, lock it in position, drive 45 minutes to work. My husband would meet me in the parking lot, and then I would hold the handle and move it to his truck. And so that was the only time 5 days a week that I was holding my baby, was to put her physically into the pumpkin seat. And so I'm telling him this, and he said, do you tell that every day? And I was like, well, I mean, I started making excuses, and I was like, well, I mean, I've been in for 5.5 years. I used to tell it every day. I don't know, maybe I feel like it's not that big a deal anymore. And I was being really timid, kind of talking to him about it, because it was kind of aha momenting to me, just listening to him question me. But so you guys, so he's like, you should be sharing that story every single day. He's like, I didn't know your story. I guarantee you there's somebody on Facebook or Instagram that doesn't know your story. And he's like, and I'm a dude. And that totally just gave me goosebumps thinking about your story. So the next day we go, and this Devon Franklin speaks, And so Devon Franklin is a producer, author, speaker, and now CEO of Franklin Entertainment. So when he was little, like he grew up wanting to be Will Smith's agent. And he had this dream to go to Hollywood. Well, so he said that he was told when he got out to Hollywood that he had two big things against him. One, he was African American, and two, he was a very loud and proud Christian. And they said those two things are strikes against you in Hollywood, unfortunately. And so he talked about that. And he said, well, I mean, I'm African American. There's nothing I can do about that. And I'm very proud of being a Christian. And so I'm not going to step away from that. So he started talking about your differences and to, own your difference. These moments that you may go through painful times owning your difference. And in this business, we're different, you guys. We're not like normal society. We're not the people, and you may still be working 9-to-5 jobs, but you're doing more by being in this business. You're pushing harder. You're different because you see, like, you don't want to just clock in and clock out for the rest of your life. You don't want to die and leave your debt to your children. You're different. You guys are different. That's why you're here. And so him talking about that, he said, stop being quiet, use your voice. And I remember looking at, like, I think Allie was sitting next to me and I was like, well, if this isn't confirmation from our talk last night, then I've been quiet. Like, I haven't been sharing my story anymore. Like, not that I got comfortable, but I thought people might be annoyed by still hearing me tell the same story over and over again. So he said, resist to the temptation to be normal. Stop exchanging what makes you different for what makes you common. Stop being common. You're not common. You're different, and it's okay. Be proud of that. He said, own your difference and stop worrying about what they think. Stop giving they the power. There was one thing that really stuck out to me. Okay, people want you to fit into the limited belief of who they think you are. And so think about the times, like, I've had people, I started this business in a one stoplight town full of haters. And, people were not nice. And it was hard, but people wanted to put me in that box of that little tiny town where people don't travel, they don't go to college, they don't go, everybody gets married, and there's nothing wrong with not going to college. There's nothing wrong with getting married right out of high school, but it is a very, very just small-minded community, unfortunately, and a lot of small towns are that way. And so that's where we left to come to Florida, because I couldn't handle it anymore. I couldn't handle the limited belief that I was giving myself because I was letting those people get to me. And so it just really honed in on, don't be scared to be different. And what's crazy? So Devon Franklin was the producer. He was the vice president of Sony, I think. But he was the producer of Heaven is Real and The Breakthrough. And so everybody told him, like, neither one of those movies were going to do good because they were about God and they were Christian-based movies, and they exploded. And he talked about how, everybody was just like such a jerk to him about it. And he said that he even sat in one meeting where they were making like some racial jokes about what was going to go in a script, and he stood up for himself. He said, I could have sat there and just like, this is what they told me. It's going to be hard. It's part of Hollywood. But he stood up for it, and he stood up for himself. So you guys, like, it's time to take a stand for who you are. And if you don't believe in what these products and this business can do for you, then nobody else is going to believe it. So it's time to get loud and be proud of where you're at. Know for a fact, you're hearing testimonies from 3 of us that did it with kids and working full-time crazy hour jobs. And we just did it because we so desperately, needed it, because we were all secretly drowning in debt. Everybody, you guys, I'm telling you, your highlight reel that you see other people post on Facebook, we've all got things we're going through. It doesn't matter. We looked like we had this white picket fence, nurse, My husband was originally a firefighter, so we really looked like we were some, cute little American family. But you guys, we were drowning. So just know it's okay to share your struggles, and it's okay. Everybody else is talking about how, great and grand their life is. It's okay. Whenever I started, I talked about our debt because I knew that if I didn't get vulnerable and real about our debt and why I was so excited about what this company was going to do for me, that's what made it where people started to follow me and started to want to buy from me because they wanted to support me. But you've got to get back to sharing your story. And, some people, I think I shared my story a lot more in the beginning because people relate to your struggles a lot more than they relate to your success. And so I think that that's where, after being in for so long and I've had a lot of success, that I was stepping back from it. But you guys, think about where you've been, where you currently are, and where you're going. Those are the three things you should talk about every single day. You've been struggling and drowning in debt. Now you've got an opportunity, but you just want to be able, like Jade Hooper said, she didn't want to buy the cheap off-brand detergent. She wanted to be able to buy Tide Pods. You don't have to say you've made $1 million. You don't have to say you've made a $10,000 bonus, but talk about where you're going. You're gonna get a, 4-figure paycheck. Your paycheck by the end of the year is going to have a comma in it. It's going to have 2 numbers before the comma. Talk about where you've been, where you are, where you're going. You all have a story. So don't look at these big successes and think, well, I don't have that story yet. You won't have that story ever if you don't own where you're at, be different, and then talk about where it's going to take you.
Man, Ashley, I'm fired up right now. That was awesome, my friend. That was awesome. All right, Allie, it's on you to follow that. Ashley dropped that mic about 18 times.
I mean, I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that. So that's amazing. I mean, and you guys, that, we could talk that passionately about every single speaker there. Everybody's been are you guys going to do a full recap? I don't know how we could. We could literally do a full Zoom on every single speaker. My heart was so on fire. I just could not even handle, the content and the passion and just the energy in the room and just hearing things and looking at each other yeah, oh my God. And taking notes. I was how that would apply to our business or how that applies to our life. So the speaker who really connected with me was the third speaker of the first day, and her name is Lisbon Anand. And she is a woman who wanted to be change the world. She just had this massive dream. She wanted to change the world. And she said, I want to help 1 million women in poverty get jobs. And I'm going to be, she knew nothing about design. She had some job, and she started a shoe company. So when she lived in the dorms, she tied some extra ribbon on a flip-flop, and she was I'm going to make a flip-flop that doesn't flop. She hated that walking down the hallway, flopping shoe. So she always had this shoe with this extra ribbon, her friends would tease her in college or whatever. So after college, she just couldn't take corporate America anymore and decided that she was going to go to or she was talking to her parents. I'm sorry. She's talking to her parents, and she's I'm going to, change 1 million lives. I'm going to, help 1 million women in poverty. And it kind of struck her that she didn't even know one. She wanted to change 1 million lives, and she had this massive dream, but she didn't have one friend in poverty. So she quit her job, and she picked up her whole life, and she told her mom and dad that she was moving to Uganda so she could make a friend. And so you go through these stages of learning, right? And when you're a beginner and when we start this business, we are just ignorance on fire, right? You hear every leader talk about it, that especially anyone who moved really fast, it is just ignorance on fire. It's, you have no clue how you're doing it. You're just doing it, right? So, and so that is this blissful ignorance. So there's these 4 stages. There's blissfully incompetent, right? So you're unconsciously incompetent. You don't know anything. You're not even aware that you don't really know anything. You're just like doing it. And then from there, the stage where so often we get stuck is we are consciously incompetent. So we still don't know, but we're aware we don't know. And we feel that like weakness, right? And you have to keep learning. You have to keep growing. And then suddenly we become consciously competent, or we get good at something, but we have to like really focus on it, right? And it's a skill. And then eventually we get unconsciously competent, and that's that blissfully competent. And it's effortless. It's easy. You know, some of you, maybe you ask your leader, gosh, how would I respond to this? And they type out something so fast, and you're like, how do you do that? And we have to say, we've been doing this for 6 years. Like, we've gotten really good at responding to messages, right? So we get to that level at the top. And when we think about having to try something new, maybe you've built your whole business on Facebook and you're thinking about starting an Instagram, you realize you have to start back down at that bottom step. And it makes us like fear losing that place at the top, or it kind of makes us fear like, it makes us feel that people are going to think we've just been faking it because we have to go be a beginner at something again. So often we all fear these things as steps, right? We get to that fourth step and we're terrified of ever coming back to the bottom step. But the truth is, it's not stair steps, it's a circle. And you have to think of it as a circle, because you are arrogant if you think that you are ever done learning. That if you have ever, there's no way that any one of us has ever perfected every skill. There's no one who's a master at this business. Every single one of us has room to learn every single day. So you have to get back to that magical land of beginners, because that's where there's so much magic. It's so easy to feel like, oh, I was a one-hit wonder. I got here. How could I ever do it again? We should be doing it again every single time, every single day, learning a new skill, honing something, perfecting something. And nothing's going to be easy the first time you do it. You know, nothing, if something is easy the first time, you're doing it wrong. Like, the first time we try anything, we should fail. That's what beginners do. And we have to stop being scared of being a beginner. And we have to stop being scared of failing and just start taking those risks to try new things. So that's what she did. And she realized that she had to stop thinking so big and dreaming so big, that she had to dream really, 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 really small. And so the huge takeaway for me from this is that, like, we so often, you get in this business, you get your first few customers, our team does, and then they're like, you're just not getting anywhere. And for somewhere along the line, we've lost all that space. We feel like it has to be like nothing or top earner. Like, there's no in the middle. Like, what happened to $1,000 a month? Like, are you going to get $1,000 paycheck and be like, man, I really suck this month because I didn't make 10 grand. I didn't make 30 grand. Like, no, like, you're working your way through the cycle, and you're never going to find your passion, but you can build it. And I loved that. Like, be proud of the fact that you're average, you're learning, you're a beginner. Stop thinking about going diamond tomorrow and sign one loyal customer. Put up one post. Sign one distributor. We look at these huge charts and we feel like we forget that there's all these tiny steps and all this learning that has to get there. So for her, she transitioned from helping 1 million women to making one friend in poverty. And she said the best thing she ever did was just show up somewhere new as an open and incompetent beginner. Just show up open to learn. You know, give yourself permission to dream small. That, like, you getting one loyal customer this week is a win. That's huge. If you got one loyal customer and one distributor every week, that's all you did, you'd have 52 DTs this year. Like, how insane would that be? So nobody needs you or wants you to be their hero. You don't have to go save someone, but you know, the giving and receiving has to be reciprocal. So maybe you have someone new on your team, you're helping and you're coaching. Well, what can you learn from them? Like, nobody wants a boss. So what really kind of resonated me in my notes about this business from this talk was like, who can I connect to and inspire? It is not my job or on me to inspire everyone. Every single person on my team should not be inspired by me. Every single person on my team shouldn't even like me. But who can I connect with that I can inspire? And then who can they do that for? How can it be, you know, transcribed through our team? And how can that trickle down happen? So are there 5 people on my team that I can inspire, connect to, and treat and teach? And then do they have 5 and they have 5? So it's not on me to dream massively big and think that I need to be this righteous leader for 10,000 people. I'm going to lead my 10 leaders. And then they're going to lead their 10 leaders. And so it's going to trickle down from there. So really, it comes down to dream small. Stop dreaming so big. Live in that magical land of being a beginner and be open and always wanting to learn a new thing and never be scared to like start fresh that new thing. Okay.
So good, Allie. Oh my gosh.
I could go on and on about
no,
all.
I know. It's well, so I was originally gonna talk about Bear Grylls did a speech and it was a theme, honestly, in a lot of different ones around failure and how to think about failure. But Cami Pentecost actually just did a live at 7:30 today that is like hit the nail of what I was gonna say, and I just would encourage you guys to go watch Cami's 10-minute live, which is on our page. I'm going to talk about something else that was honestly, like, every time I read these sentences in my notes, I'm like, whoa. A woman named Jo Saxton, I'd never heard of her before. She's a leadership coach and she's worked in church leadership and does a lot of leadership training that's just, you know, secular as well. And, you know, something that was really powerful that she shared, and this was sort of like a pivotal moment, an aha moment for many of us in the room, like you could feel the energy shift, was who were you before anyone told you who you were supposed to be? Who were you before anyone told you what you were supposed to be? And so connecting back to that spirit that many of us might have had when we were 5, 6, 7, some of us maybe younger, maybe older, when we started pivoting to really having that outside noise shape us and shape our own vision of ourselves and our expectations of what we could do. It was so moving. You got a group of, you know, 4,000 adults in the room. We're all like shook by that phrase that she said. And for me, you know, this really reminded me, is sort of as from a training perspective and a coach perspective, you know, one of the beautiful things about network marketing is that you can truly connect your authentic self, be that person, and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. And there are I mean, I was in the corporate world for 20 years as a lawyer, and then I was in the healthcare corporate environment, and I had to pretend to be somebody that I wasn't. And talking about Facebook, I couldn't put that we were drowning in debt and that my husband's business was failing, and I was, you know, all this other stuff that was going on. Our marriage was in bad shape. So I was masking that. That's social pressures, right? And what's beautiful about this business, and particularly this company, is that you can use this as a vehicle to connect to who you're truly meant to be. And so how do you do that? A lot of that is doing personal development that allows you to, and it depends on your, you know, your color personality and what you respond to, but allows you to tap into your authentic self. And so for me as a red, like that might be a lot of people yelling at me, but for those of you who are yellow, it may be doing some more self-worthiness, personal development. And in turn, then when you communicate, and this is what I love about this business so much, you guys, you can communicate as your true self. And I think all 3 of us will tell you, when you are being genuine and telling your story and going live and just being who you are, whatever that is, you are going to bring in people that need to hear from you, that are like-minded and like you, that they're at the beginning place, 3 or 4 steps behind you, maybe 10 steps behind you, where you are right now. And to give you an example, you know, one of my best friends in the business is a woman named Brittany Hayes. She's a new ambassador this year. And every time Brittany does anything, like she wakes up and she puts her makeup on, she's beautiful, she's lashes, she's fit. And she builds a lot on Facebook, Instagram, telling her story and with the products and the business. And she's, you know, top 20 so far this year. I, as one of her best friends, we really talk almost like every day, a bunch of times. I wear no makeup. I'm 40. I'm probably about 40 pounds overweight. And you can't put makeup on me. It just doesn't happen. Like and I don't worry about it. But because of this business, and I'm just like telling my story and sharing, and I came from this corporate background. Brittany was a single mom, a teenage mom in her 20s. It doesn't matter, because we can both tap into who we are and just be loud, and we're both, you know, killing in our space. And you attract the people that are like you, that need to hear your story in your sphere, okay? And so just tapping into, you know, what are you holding back? What are you holding back because you think you need to be a certain way, whether that's directly connected to the business or if it's more broad. And one of the most liberating things to me happened in my second year, you guys, when I started telling my story. It took me 18 months to tell my story. Like, so Ashley was nice to say I tell it all the time. For 18 months, I didn't. And when I started telling my story and I got it out, and I started talking about how we were in foreclosure before this, and all the emotional weight that I had on, and especially after my divorce, and I was able to really freely talk about some of those struggles, I was more liberated, more free, and more myself, you know, back to that 6, 7, 8-year-old Mira than ever before at age 40, 41, 42. So I just, again, who were you before anyone told you who you were supposed to be? And is that perception shaping who you are and how you lead? So any of you guys that are leaders in terms of even having just one distributor, how is like trying to fit in the mold, is that impacting your team? Are you being the role model for your team? Are you communicating with their team the big vision, the big dream, and pulling all of the weight of normal society and normal life from them? Or are you so held in that you can't do that well? So just, it really impacts your ability to grow and lead and communicate with your team. She brought in a quote from Muhammad Ali that I think is really important. What you are thinking is what you're becoming. What you're thinking is what you're becoming. So are you feeding the good things in your brain to make sure that you're becoming your best true self? And the last thing that I'll end with, again, was I think everybody just like stopped breathing for a minute, that she said was, what's not being started because of the lies we are telling ourselves or others are telling us. What's not being started because of the lies we tell ourselves or others are telling us about what to be. And boy, that hit network marketing real hard. So just, you know, it's hard, guys. I had a whole half of my family that like honestly couldn't even look me in the face for the first 2 years. It took a long time. It took me to get those 5-figure monthly checks and to retire before they accepted it. And this was my closest half of my family. But I don't regret it a day, because it changed me and my son's life and built us a stream life. But it is hard. It is hard. But you are meant to be your true self. And this business is the best vehicle I've seen, gone through a lot of different life to get there. Okay. And so I'll kind of end there. So we have 25 minutes left. I'm going to throw in a couple tasks, and then Ashley and Allie just like jump in. We'll kind of do 2 tasks. And I think just picking up of what Ashley was saying, in particular, one of the things we really want you guys to do tonight is spend the next 5 to 10 minutes writing a story post. And it can be something that connects. We were paid yesterday. So you can talk about your paycheck yesterday and what you're using it for. And then you can work in like kind of the bigger picture goals and dreams, or you can just focus on small. Or if you already done that, like a payday post, then do like a why post, and just, why are you doing this? And what's your goal and inspiration around doing this business. And so we're going to take 5 minutes on that, because this is one of the things that, you know, people, I find that on my team, people just don't generally do often enough. Okay, so 5 or 10 minutes on that. And just when you're done, just write done in the chat so that we can have a sense of where you're at.
Hey, while you guys are doing that, just something else I wanted to add from Devon's, and I put all my notes from him in the chat, but something that really stuck out to me, that like one of the very last things he said is Cinderella didn't look the part, but she was the right fit and her life was changed forever. And I think that that's something that's so crucial to know, that you're not here by accident. Like, you didn't accidentally get here. There's a reason you're in this business, and just because you don't look like so-and-so or so-and-so or act like so-and-so or have the degree that so, like, none of that matters. You're here for a reason. You fit the part, and you're the right fit, and your life can be changed forever if you're in the right mindset.
Okay, couple more minutes on this, and then, you know, obviously you can keep working on it. See, a couple people are done. Okay, so let's move on. Again, if you're still working on this, like, you can obviously come back to it and finish it. For the last 15 minutes, what we want to do is connected to sort of some of the stuff we were talking about early with green carpet in particular. So we obviously have 5 weeks left, and it's super important to be really pulling together of as many leads as you can, a huge list of names, so that whatever they drop on the 21st, you can just walk out of there, sit down, and write a million messages for an hour to people you already have some connection with. And I've been telling my team, really try to start 5 new conversations a day. And that doesn't mean message 5 people. That means start conversations, meaning people actually are responding. So that might take 15, 20 plus messages. But they also, they may end up closing quickly. They may end up closing before the green carpet. So it's just really important. If you did 5 people a day, if I started 5 new conversations a day from now until green carpet, that's 150 people that you have added to your list, plus all the existing people. So, and don't ever sleep on follow-up. It's so important. But so what we want to do for the last 15 minutes is take a message that we shared last time as well. I tweaked it a little bit. You always want to be tweaking messages and scripts, because Facebook catches up and it kind of busts through the algorithm, and Facebook gets mad at people, as we've all been hearing. So I just dropped that script, and it's something that our team, we tweak it here and there. But it's a great message because you can talk to them both about products and the business. Ashley has one too. Ashley, if you want to drop it in as well as an alternative, that's great as well. And so what you're really looking for, so honestly, for the next now 14 minutes, if you can write people, as many as you can with this message, you're going to start hopefully at least 5 new conversations tonight. Some of them may not respond till tomorrow, but that's going to be a lot of people in 14 minutes. So that's kind of the last task for tonight.
And I just want to say, like, something about people are always like, who do I message? How do I start a new conversation? Like, so I totally, this is a tip out of Mira's book. I have watched Mira. She's so inspired by her. So she is an amazing job of posting like hilarious quotes a couple times a day, or memes. You guys, she'll get like 50 people commenting on a funny mom meme that literally teed up on a silver platter. People who are seeing her post, but they're seeing all of her posts if they're commenting on it. but they're only commenting on that. That just said, these people know exactly what you're doing. Talk to them. Like, it's amazing. Same people who view your story. For me, like, I just go through, I try to go through like every other day and like go through all of my posts, and like I try to reply to every comment. Sometimes I get 2 or 3 days behind, and that really sucks. But then like, oh, okay, hey, I don't recognize this name. Go get up on their stuff. Like, even if it's you're not like ready to be like, hey, do you want to be a product tester? Hey, do you want to join my team? Go to their profile and comment on their profile picture, because they're wearing an adorable dress, and be like, you look gorgeous, girl, love that dress. Then send them a message. It's like, I'm obsessed with that dress in your profile picture. Where is it from? You guys, who cares if you don't need the dress? Message them that. You know, your photos are always so beautiful. What kind of phone do you have? Gosh, those pictures of the mountains on your vacation, like, great, where exactly were you? Like, just ask them a question. Even if you're too nervous to send them a message, ask them a question on a comment of their picture, and then they'll reply. And then if you can get a back and forth a couple times in their comments, that's really, really good for your algorithm too. So go to, go to the people who are interacting with you. Go to your most recent feed too, because that boots the algorithm, and it just tells you who's posting. That's all. Just stop being scared to message. Like, if you're like, shoot, I have not messaged 10 new people today. Go to a post from a week ago, go to a meme, see who liked it, and message all of them. Like, stop worrying. What is the worst that is going to happen? They will ignore you or say no. Cool. That's it. Like, you are writing your own story. Like Ashley said, like, why do you give a crap what some random stranger on Instagram is worried about? They say no, cool, peace. Next on the list.
And you guys, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go.
On Instagram, like, I used to, like, I was such a Facebook person, and it was really hard for me to like jump on the Instagram bandwagon, because I felt like it was like impersonal. It wasn't the same as Facebook, where I had like warm market. But at the end of the day, there was so much talk about cold messages, cold messages, cold messages. At the end of the day, if they're one of your followers, if they're engaging on your post, if they're watching your story, then you have there's a connection there. So you're not sending a cold message. So that's where like Instagram changed for me, and most of my enrollments come from Instagram now.
You guys, and if you need more people, post something like, I need a new curling iron. What do you use? A flat iron, a wand, or curling rod? I'm in the market for a new dry shampoo. What's your favorite? You're gonna get 100 comments, and then it's like, boom, right there, new people to talk to. The stupid tot, type the capital T-O-T or whatever. I posted that 2 days ago, and I have 79 comments, and I have yet to reply. So I know once I start replying to those people, then it'll pick back. I mean, it's crazy.
Another thing you can ask is, since school just started, you can ask a question like, do your kids eat school lunch, or do you pack a school lunch? What time do your kids go to bed, and how old are they? Do your kids ride the bus, or do you do car rider line? Like, stuff like that people are like in the midst of right now are all great engagement things too. Also asking what's everyone's, we're back in school, what's everyone's favorite crock pot recipe? You may not even own a crock pot. Who cares? How many times, one of my favorite ones I did one time, which was really interesting, is how many times a week do you bathe, or do you bathe your kids every night? If not, how often do you? And I was like shocked. So like,
one that worked really, really well for me once, and I probably haven't done it probably in a year. I should ask again. It's because people know I work out a lot. I post that on my story every day when I work out. So I said, sitting at the gym today got me thinking, when you're wearing workout pants, undies are commando. And oh my God, it went crazy. It's hilarious. Like, and it will boost your whole profile. Yep. And make people who don't even know you see it, and then they're going to click to you.
Yep. You should do an engagement post every single day like that. And I think you can even go on Pinterest and type in like this or that questions or whatever, and it'll give you all different kinds.
Mm-hmm. All right, as we're all doing this, I want to see in the chat, I want to know how many PDTs you're going to have on your list on September 20th. Like, what's your number? Strong PDTs. These are just people you want to join your team, people who have expressed interest and you're talking to. I want to know how many strong PDTs you're going to have on your team. Oh, Keisha with 500 coming in hot. Oh, someone said I missed the question. So we've been talking about building your list, building your list, building your list. This is about you're telling your story, you're messaging every day because we're 5 weeks out from green carpet. You have to have a PDT list because you have to be organized and set up for success. If you come out of an event with a huge announcement and don't have it together, you are drowning from day one and you are not effective. If you get organized now and build that list, so we want to know how many PDTs are you going to have on your list. Being organized. I made, and I can share these with you guys. They're on my team page, Mira and Ashley, but like I made just like little PDF worksheets for people to keep track of. And if it's somebody who I want as a PDT, but I'm not ready to ask them yet, I made an engagement one with like 4 check boxes. So people can say I've engaged with them enough times and I can ask them the question, and a PDT list. I mean, they're the simplest things, but people are loving them because it's just a worksheet and you can like 3-hole punch them, put them in a binder, just staple them together, keep them in a folder, whatever you need. But you better believe that when I go to green carpet, I'm going to have many, many, many of these sheets full so that the day an announcement comes out, I can make a text replacement. I can just go right through it.
That's awesome. Allie, I'm going to steal that and put it on our team page because I think that's just an awesome, simple, organizational tool to like the track the engagement too. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it was so simple. I just made them in Excel, but I just turned them into PDFs, and that's just sometimes all you need. It's just a worksheet, a template, just to have printed out. So I'll make sure that everybody on here
yeah, Joan, I'll put
access to that. It's on my team page. I know Amy's on it, Lauren's on it, Ashley, I just added you, Mira. My team page.
I'm there.
Yes, it's an open book. I got nothing to hide. But yeah, I mean, they're nothing special, but I just have decided, like, I am not going to tell my team what they should be doing. I'm going to be telling my team what I am doing. What am I doing every day? What did I accomplish today? And if they want to run and go big, come on. Come with me. Do what I'm doing. Do more. Push me. Challenge me. Like, it's go time, people. I'm just so hungry for, you know, our team. We're fighting to be a Costa Rica team. We're fighting hard. We want to be top 20, and I want to move her and shake her with me. And I know that whatever happens at Green Carpet will literally propel us the next 3 months into the new year. And then conference will probably be late January, early February. And if you create these organizational habits right now, and these habits of like building your list every day, adding to a list every day, keeping yourself organized. And y'all, it does not have to be these insane systems. It can legit be worksheets, just handwritten things. Like, this is not hard. A spiral notebook. Stop keeping 15 lists. Keep one list. But if you create these habits now and you continue to build this list, you take that momentum from Green Carpet right into conference. I mean, y'all, whatever your paycheck was in July, imagine it like 10 times that in March, 20 times that. So I think about it, my very first year, July was my first month. I made $400, maybe. I think it was including a fast start. I made $400. And 9 months later, March, after my first conference, my March paycheck was $13,000. 400, 13,000 in 9 months. Because I stopped. I was in the land of beginners. I knew nothing. I just asked. I was so freaking excited. I was loud, and I asked everyone. And if they told me no, I was like, sorry, you're a loss. And I just didn't care. So you guys, this is the time. Like, the action you take right now this month and September, like, and then you create those habits, it will change your entire business. But you have to, like, keep that focus. And like Ashley said, and I mean, Mira is a gleaming example of this. You have to tell your story every single day. Every day, loud. Because you never know what person needs to see it who has never seen it or heard it before. Sorry, soapbox.
No, it's on point. And so like we'll end there, but like honestly, guys, if you take anything out of this, it's really, you need to get, you know, your mind right first and foremost for the next 5 weeks, for August and for the Green Carpet boom. And so if you are feeling shaky, obviously, hopefully this particular Zoom helped, but you get that personal development going every single day. If something resonated from one of the speakers, then go grab their books, because they all got books, they all got YouTubes. And really pour into yourself. The first 15 minutes you should do for your business, if not for your life, should be personal development every single day. And that will straighten everything out, and then go make those lists. So that's kind of what we got for you today. And so happy, so proud of you guys. We're going to have a huge fall, and keep working super hard for the next 2 weeks to close out August strong. Thank you, Ashley.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye, guys.